Okay, I want to show you how you save an object to a hard drive and then call the object back. Java was originally written for the cable business going back to the early 90s, and it basically works on streams of every kind imaginable. You can basically stream anything you like in and out of a Java program. So we're just going to be using a couple of the stream functions within Java, but there are an awful lot of them. You can spend a lifetime learning about Java and streams. I'm going to use this little sort of test harness here, and basically whenever you get involved in streams you're going to be using try and catch blocks. The reason being that once you step outside your computer, wherever you're writing to or from may or may not be available. If you're writing to a memory stick and you haven't plugged the memory stick in, then it's going to generate an error. If you're trying to read from a server which is offline, then it's going to generate an error. So you need to be able to try these things, and if there's a problem, catch the error. And so the try catch blocks just basically looks like this. Try, we're going to do whatever we want to try. We're going to do in this section here, and catch. Excuse me. We're going to catch any exceptions. Now you can get very specific on your exceptions, and you can have all these catches arranged in order. You can have loads and loads of catches and catch various exceptions. We're just going to use the most generic kind of catch here. And just catch the very base exception class, and I'm going to, if it produces an exception object, if it makes a mistake, I've called it burp, and we're going to basically get the message that came with burp. So this will allow us just to track anything that's going wrong. So in and out, we basically want the Java IO library. So I'm just going to drop that in here. If I just stick that in there we are. That'll import all of the Java IO classes. We don't have to write any of those. They're all written for us. It'll produce all those objects that we need, and we're going to have a little go at a file output stream. If I just drop that in here, we're going to open up a file output stream and call it myfile.txt. Just let me move that out of the way, and what we're going to do is once you've got a file output stream, you can then basically write all sorts of things to it, and we're going to write an object output stream to that in a second. But I just wanted to show you it working with plain ordinary text. If we set up a print stream, if I just grab this bit of code over here, Control C, drop this bit of code in here, what this will do is let me just source format, make that nice and neat for you. So we're going to open this file output stream, and here I'm just going to now set up a print stream which is chained to this file output stream. So you can see the file output stream there is now feeding into the print stream, and the print stream, we're going to print a line saying here's my text stuff, and then close the print stream. You need to remember to close streams all the time, otherwise it's going to leave all these resources hanging around, chewing up your computer horsepower. So you're going to close it, and if there's a problem, it'll catch any exceptions. Should give us a little error here. So if I run this, let's just hit run and call up my directory. It should run and write that little text file for us, and there we are. It's produced that little text file. If I double click on that, you should see it's there we are. It's a little text file, and it's written here's my stuff. It's as simple as that. So that's basically what it does. Let me just delete that. Okay, and go back to here again. So that's how the print stream works. Now instead of print stream here, we're going to have an object output stream. We're going to write an object. Okay, so I'll leave that there for a second, and I'll change this to my object. And it's traditionally, when you serialize an object, you give it the extension .ser. You can name it anything you like, basically. It's just a convention to name it .ser, so you recognize that, say, serialized object. And now before I get onto that, I'm just going to show you the object here. It's a simple bank account object. It has a member there called balance, which I've made private. I've got a method here to go set the balance, and it basically will allow you to stick an amount in and add it to the balance. And it's got another method here which basically says what's my balance, so that'll print out what the balance has got, what the bank account's got in it. Oh, about to sneeze there. Okay, now to make an object serializable, all you have to do is implement the serializable interface. That's it. That's all that's required. And if you want to implement a serializable interface, you need to import java.io.serializable. That's all that you need to add to your object to be able to save it. So everything else here, all this should be familiar to you, and the only new thing will be this thing called serializable, and in order for you to add that, you need that import facility there. So that's how you'd set the bank account up. So if I go back to savystuff.java and let's just set up a quick bank account so you can see that in action. If I put this in here, so this basically will create a bank account called Bill Blogs, and it'll set the balance at 300, and it'll print out what's my balance. So if I run that, in fact what I'll do is let me just comment those out for a second. Just let me, if I just comment those lines out, there we are. And if I just run that, it should generate a bank account called Bill Blogs, stick 300 quid in and tell us it's got £300 in it. There we are. So it says my balance is 300 quid. So that bit works. Let's just take these lines and uncomment them now like that. And what we're going to do now is going to serialize that Bill Blogs and save it to the hard drive. This object here called Bill Blogs, we're going to serialize that and save it to the hard drive. So to do that, I need to generate an object output stream. And if I just stick that under there, like this, and in fact, let me just source format that just to make it a bit neater. There we are. So if I just talk you through what's happening here, this is the file output stream, just as we did before with the little text file, but now we're going to generate an object output stream, and we're going to chain that to this file output stream. So we're going to basically use the object output stream to grab our object, and it's grabbing our object called Bill Blogs, and it's going to feed it into this thing called myobject.serial.ser via that file output stream. So that's how you chain the two things together. And of course, we're not forgetting to close it at the end. So if I was to do this, what should happen now is I run this, it should generate a bank account called Bill Blogs. It should set its balance to oops, let me just reverse that, sorry. Set the balance to 300, and then it should read out and say my balance is 300 at the bottom there. And then what it's going to try and do is create a file output stream called myobject.ser. That's going to be the file name stored on our hard drive, and it's going to then generate an object output stream, and it's going to feed this Bill Blogs object into that file that we've this file name here. That's basically what it's going to try and do. So if I run that, and if I now just pull this up here, should see a couple of things happen here. Should be able to see that. Should say my build is balance is 300, and look, it's created this object here. Now if you try and view this, it'll be a bunch of garbage, because basically it's a binary stream. In fact, can I do this? Let me just have a look. I've never tried it. Let's do open with, I don't know, Notepad, something like that. Here, Notepad. It should just give us, there you are, that's what it looks like. Serialized. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to us. But that is now an object saved on the hard drive. What we want to be able to do now is call that object back. So if I just minimize that and just go over here, and we're going to now bring that object back to life. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to create a remote control. When you do this, this basically says I'm making a remote control here for bank accounts called Bill Blogs. It's not actually assigned to an object. Normally we'd go equals and then new, and then we'd make it a bank account, something like that. So that would be, there's the remote control called Bill Blogs, and that controls this object over here called bank account. We're not going to do that. We're just going to create the remote control, and then we're going to bring back to life that object that's on the hard drive. So bank account, Bill Blogs, and now these are all output streams. You can imagine now the opposite is going to be file input streams. So if I grab file input stream over here, let's just delete this lot and paste that in. This is the reverse. So it's now going to say file input stream, and it's going to grab this particular object that we've got stored on the hard drive, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have an object input stream. Let me just grab that, Control C, drop that in here. Okay, and it's going to basically chain those two together. So the object input stream is going to have fed into it what the file input stream is going to put in, which is this line here. And then once you've done that, you basically want to go read that object and attach it to, just Control V, put that in here. So this is build blogs, that's a remote control. It's going to read in this object here. Unfortunately, what it does is exactly what it says in the tin. It reads in just an object. It doesn't know it's read in a bank account. Okay, so what you want to do is you read in that object first, and then you cast it to a bank account. This thing here, and it's in the book. The book tells you all, the manual tells you all about how to cast things, but that's what you're doing. You're basically reading that object in, and when you read it in, you're then changing it into a bank account. And once you've done that, you're then attaching it to the build blogs remote control. So then I shall be able to do things like build blogs, BL blogs. Spell correctly, blogs dot, and I should be able to do what's my balance, and it should print out 300 quid. Now if you notice here, if I close that for a second, you notice in here we haven't got anything about 300 quid in here. If you notice the bank account, nothing about 300 quid here. The only place it's going to get that 300 quid from is from the object that's stored here on the hard drive. It's going to get everything that was in that bank account there. So if I run this now, hit that, let's have a look. It should go get that object for us, create build blogs, and tell us that it's got 300 quid in there, and there we are. That's how you, in a nutshell, read and write objects to the hard drive.